Want to grab a copy of the Steambird? We know our Fontanian friends love a little drama. There's no way they let their readers down. Isn't that Charlotte? And standing next to her, surely that can't be Kaniche?
How about... Lost treasure resurfaces at last. Behold the beauty of the Remurian teacup. Pretty shocking. But it still feels like it's missing something. Ah, got it! Iudex gravely wounded in shocking stabbing. Set to miss cross-border smuggling trial.
Huh? What? Did Paimon hear that right? Neuvillette was stabbed and gravely wounded? No, surely that can't be right. Can it?
Hey there, you two. Fancy running into you here.
Yeah, that, and also a less than pleasant shock. What the heck was all that about a Saurian meat restaurant and the Iudex getting stabbed? Please say you weren't being serious. Trading tabloid headlines?
Yeah. Charlotte and I were having a little contest to see who could find the most ridiculous fake news stories. Either I got lucky, or I have a knack for honing in on the most outrageous material. If I had to quantify it, I'd say about 1% of what they write is the truth.
Huh? Him? Lenient? Ugh, you gotta be kidding! Ah!
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to give credit to these so-called news stories for occasionally including a grain of truth. All I'm saying is, even the wildest leaps of the human imagination are always rooted in reality.
You all those fake headlines you mentioned actually do have some basis in fact?
Sure they do. For instance, there was in fact a smuggling trial recently. Considering the amount of speculation surrounding the smuggled goods, it's no wonder there are rumors about restaurants serving saurian meat or teacups being unearthed from ancient ruins. But in reality, the goods in question were simply a few ancient relics dug up from ruins in Natlan. Rest assured, no saurians were harmed in the process.
Oh, okay! Paimon was so busy freaking out about those headlines that she totally forgot to ask why you're here in Fontaine, Kinich.
It was a pretty open and shut case, and my testimony in court was clear enough. But I'm guessing, Mademoiselle Charlotte, that you're less interested in the case than you are in trying to uncover some news stories about Natlan. I appreciate your kind invitation, but like I said, storytelling isn't really my forte.
Kinich the speechless! Kinich the tongue-tied! Huh?
If you're dead set on doing an interview, why not talk to the Traveler instead?
Charlotte never stops, does she? Anyway, Paimon just has to ask. That owl thing that popped out before, or was it a howl? It kind of looked like a howl, but at the same time...
Oh, that thing. Yeah, that was a howl.
Huh? What's up with him? Like, he's still noisy, but he's way quieter than before. It's like he's trying to hide or something.
Could be.
Not acclimatizing? Aw, poor Almighty Dragon Lord is not feeling well.
Too bad he can't come out to argue back.
What do you mean?
There's nothing physically wrong with him. It actually has to do with a strange law we learned about after arriving in Fontaine. Apparently, it's forbidden to release flying objects within Fontaine city limits during the first 3 days of each month.
Paimon sure does! Paimon's been down this road before. There's an easy solution. As long as Kinich holds onto a how's tail, he'll be considered an Almighty Dragon Lord balloon, not a flying Almighty Dragon Lord.
Not gonna lie, I was considering that. But a How wasn't too thrilled with the idea of huffing and puffing away in the form of a mini helium balloon. That said, it's pretty annoying how he keeps randomly popping up all of a sudden. Anyway, this morning I saw a notice outside the Palais Mermonia about an event that's set to take place outside the city soon. Something to do with filmmaking. I hear that's all the rage here. I was planning to stay here and do some exploring for a few extra days anyway, so I think I'll go check it out. It'll be a good chance to let that noisy helium balloon out. He might even learn a thing or two. If you're free, why don't you come along? I know where it is, so let me lead the way. Looks like I remembered correctly. Here we are.
Wow, this is awesome! Hard to believe it was just an empty beach before.
Yeah, it was still completely deserted only a few days ago when I passed by on my way to testify at the Opera House. There must be some efficient workers in Fontaine. Quite impressive.
A few days? One night was all it took. Rap-a-tap-tap, ta-da! But is this all it takes to blow people away? Oh, no. Given my past experience, I can't let myself get carried away. Wow, I can't believe you actually remember me. It's me, Lepine Pauline. That's right, the unlucky one. Of course! How else would we have managed to build Fantasyland in a single night?
Fantasyland?
At least that's how I like to think of it myself. A magical land of fantasy, the stuff of film buffs' dreams. I know it sounds like I'm laying it on thick, but that really is the goal here. As you can see, the theme of this amusement park is Fontainian filmmaking, a place for all film lovers to come together and co-construct a world of dreams.
Co-construct? Well, that's a relief. Sounds like you're sharing the cost this time rather than pouring your entire life savings into a single project.
Nope! I might be inviting others to help fund this, but that doesn't mean I haven't thrown all of my life savings into it too!
Huh? You've got to be kidding. Ha! Look at you, puny little humans. Recklessly betting your entire future against some stupid vanity project. If you're expecting even an ounce of sympathy from the almighty Dragon Lord, dream on! Mockery is all you shall get, straight from the heart!
Sorry, just ignore that little gizmoid. He likes to butt in occasionally. Do go on.
Gizmoid? Who are you calling Gizmoid? You're the Gizmoid!
Wow! That's quite a nifty mecha you've got yourself there. Is it some sort of smart personal assistant? You ought to let Miss Charlotte see your cool gadget. Who knows? Maybe you could even look into mass production!
Mass production? Ugh, insolent, vulgar, and disrespectful! I, the almighty Dragon Lord, am one of a kind! There has never been another like me, nor will there ever be! And another thing, smart is the understatement of the century! I shall have you know that I I am Kahulahau, forebear of ancient wisdom. I lived for eons long before any of you were born!
What? Heavens above! I beg your pardon, forebear of ancient wisdom. Please, I meant no offense.
Idiot meets idiot.
What's all the fuss? Making some new friends, are we?
Miss Navia! Allow me to introduce the star behind all the work that's gone into this venue. Miss Navia, president of Fontaine Spina di Rosula.
Hello, everyone. Partner, Paimon, how have you been lately?
Hello there. I'm Kanich.
What about me? What about me? My useless servant can't even give me a proper introduction.
You think someone yelling their name out in the middle of a public street really needs an introduction?
He's not wrong. I caught yours just now, in fact. So, you must be the almighty Dragon Lord, Mr. Ahau. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, see that? That's what I call proper manners. Well, it's not every day you meet a well-mannered human. Navia, was it? Excellent. You may address the almighty Dragon Lord by his name. Navia, don't you think the title Almighty Dragon Lord is a bit silly?
It's no big deal. All little animals do that, don't they? I mean, try to puff themselves up to look more impressive.
Anyway, it's all thanks to Miss Navia and the Spina di Rosula that Fantasyland's gotten up and running in the space of a single night. Honestly, thank heavens! After all that paperwork and endless waiting, the event and venue finally got the green light! I couldn't wait a moment longer. The second the approval came through, I reached out to President Navia, hoping she could lend a hand. After all, who else but the Spina di Rosula would indulge such impulsive demands?
Sorry, traveler. Miss Lapine Pauline sometimes gets a bit overwhelmed by her own excitement, as you can see. I'm guessing she hasn't gone into much detail about the event yet, so let me fill you in. In short, the Cheval Moran Film Fantasyland is a fan convention that's open to film enthusiasts from all over Teyvat. Miss Lapine Pauline is hosting this event and also providing technical support.
Huh? Cheval Moran?
That's right! The one and only Surintendant Cheval Moran! After much persistence and many solicitations, I finally obtained Lady Farina's permission to use the image of her close friend. Not only is our adorable mascot drawing in fans by the minute, but she's also boosting her own popularity. And that was always the goal, a win-win arrangement.
It's been a while since we last met, but still, it's a surprise to hear Lapine Pauline coming out with such sensible ideas. way, Miss Lapine Pauline, have you decided to switch careers and go into film tech?
Not exactly. By chance, one of the prototype lenses I developed caught a photographer's eye, and it's now being used for the latest cinematic productions! Thanks to this unexpected opportunity, I've had the chance to invent various film-related equipment and props.
That's right. So don't underestimate Miss Lapine Pauline, our resident engineer. She's the technical powerhouse at the core of this entire event. As for the Spina di Rosula, we're mainly here to take care of planning, operations, and management. For anyone feeling inspired to set up a booth, Miss Lapine Pauline and I will provide the necessary technical and operational support once their application has been approved. By the way, traveler, are you at all interested in taking part? It would be a chance for you to earn some extra income. Plus, with your skills, I'm sure you could bring something special to the table.
Paimon would be even more tempted if you were to, say, throw in one of those fancy feasts she's seen in those gourmet food reels.
Well, as it happens, that'll be a piece of cake. Everyone needs to eat, whether they be tourists or the stall owners themselves. So thanks to Miss Navia's help, we've managed to invite none other than the celebrity chef, Miss Escoffier, to run our theme restaurant. Look over there!
You! Yes, you! For the last time, the ingredients have to be in the right ratio! Get it right next time, or you might as well just lie down on the chopping board yourself.
She seems a bit busy right now.
Well, I'm sold. I think I'll make a How go be her assistant.
You little... What's your game here?
Demoiselle, sorry to bother you, but there's an issue over here that requires your personal attention.
Apologies. Looks like it's back to work with me. Please feel free to take a gander at what we've got. Anyway, if you're interested in taking part, come find me later.
Greetings. Apologies if you overheard my harsh words just now, but I assure you it is entirely necessary. The sheer lack of standards here will be the death of me. Do you have any idea of the kind of customers I'm gonna get with how lax things are at the moment? The ones that leave their guns behind by accident, and then come back to collect them later bringing ammunition with them.
Yeah, that's the kind of customer you wouldn't forget in a hurry.
Oh.
Wait, has that happened before?
No, it's just the mention of guns reminded me. Someone did actually leave their gun nearby.
Huh?
Just before we started setting up, as we were cleaning up the site, someone stumbled upon a mysterious locked box. It didn't look like something from Fontaine, though. It had more of a Natlanese vibe.
Oh?
Do you think a foreign tourist might have left it behind?
That's what I assumed at first. but the box was buried beneath a pile of wooden planks, rocks, and whatnot, so it seemed like someone deliberately hid it there. But I didn't see much point in speculating, so the best thing I could think of was to hand it over to the authorities. I trekked all the way over to the Palais Mermonia just to hand it in. Ugh, it was exhausting.
What did the authorities make of it?
Oh, they made a mountain out of a molehill, as usual. Before even addressing the question of what was actually inside the box, they had several heated discussions about whose responsibility it was to write the lost and found notice. Thankfully, the ever-reliable Officer Sedine stepped up and immediately called in the Marechaussee Phantom to crack the lock and check if there were any dangerous items inside. And, as it turned out, there was a gun.
Wow, that's a dangerous item, all right.
Mind if I ask what kind of gun it was?
Oh yeah, Mr. Kanich, you're from Natlan, aren't you? Do you know a lot about guns?
You could say it comes with the job. I have an interest in weaponry and the like.
Ugh, such a spoiled brat. What, are the toys I gave you not good enough for you anymore?
Yep, got sick of those long ago.
You little... How dare you turn your nose up at my gifts! Why
Time for a timeout, old-timer. Sorry, where were we? Oh yeah, do you recall what the gun looked like?
It's a bit hard to describe. If you ask me, it didn't even really look like a gun. Give me a second. I'll knock out a quick sketch. Something like this.
Whoa, it's so neat and precise!
It's nothing. Sorry. Is something wrong with my drawing? I know it doesn't really look like a gun, but I assure you, this is exactly what it looked like. And it certainly could shoot as well, too. I confirmed that with the officer from the Marechaussee Phantom.
No, quite the opposite. The features are very accurate, and it is definitely from Natlan. Please, don't mind me. I'm just taking a moment to admire it.
I should be the one thanking you. Thank you, and everyone else for your support.
Don't mention it. Besides, we haven't really done anything.
Not at all! The buzz and excitement you guys bring is exactly what this event needs! Oh dear, I'm starting to feel a bit guilty watching everyone else toil away. Guess it's about time I got back to work too. But just before I go, one last thing. Traveler, it's wonderful to see you. Here's to a successful collaboration!
I'm sure you noticed that there was something unusual about that gun. Correct. It's most likely an old weapon dug up from some ancient dragon ruins. Based on my experience, it might be more accurate to refer to it as a hand cannon, but in Fontaine terms, it's not wrong to call it a gun. Given why I came here, don't you think it's curious that an ancient dragon relic of unknown origin would turn up like this, out of the blue? I suspect this gun might have something to do with that smuggling case. It might have slipped through the cracks. Time is of the essence, so I'd like to head over to the Palais Mermonia to verify my suspicions. Perfect. Then we can head out right away. Or, if you want to catch up with your friends first, I can wait.
Oh, man.
Bro!
Are you mimicking me? Now's not the time. Come on.
No, I mean, one of our buddies is here, for real. Quite a few of them, actually.
Auroran, what are you doing here? And who's this?
Allow me to introduce you. Bro, meet bro. A bro who heals other bros.
Ah, that bro. Nice to meet you, bro.
You guys.
Please, if Paimon hears the word bro one more time.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Paimon. I had no idea you were allergic to bro talk. Quick, Aoife. Paimon needs medical intervention.
Seriously, bro? I mean, dude, sometimes I honestly can't tell if you're being serious or just messing around. And Kenichi, come on, brother. We've known each other for how long now, and even you won't let me off the hook?
It's quite hard to resist.
In that case, guess I'll have to introduce myself. Hey, traveler, I've heard a lot about you. I'm Aoife, a vet from the Flower Feather Clan.
Oh no, not you too! Oh, that wasn't directed at you, Aoife. It's nice to meet you.
Anyway, back on topic. Wait a second. I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about again?
Why you're all here, of course.
For vegetables.
For Kakuku. Huh?
I'll go first. It's for the Chevrolamine Film Fantasyland. Wait, is that right?
It's Cheval Moran.
Ah, right. I keep stumbling over that one. Guess I owe Cheval Moran an apology, even if she's not here. Anyway, long story short, the festival restaurant urgently needed fresh vegetables from Natlan, which is why Aoife and I are here.
So, you guys are vegetable couriers?
He is. I'm just here as a responsible adult. It's his first time traveling so far away from home, and all the elders in his tribe were worried. So they had me come along.
Even though it's your first time too.
Right, but they still picked me to accompany you. You gotta wonder why that might be.
Don't you get it? They all just saw how overworked you were, so they used it as an excuse to send you off on a vacation.
Wait, what? So I'm getting the grandson treatment now too? See? Doesn't matter how much older you are than this dude. Hang out with him long enough, and you'll eventually find yourself being treated like a kid.
Meaning everyone looks after you. What's so bad about that?
In theory, nothing at all. In that case, guess I better start over. Hi guys, my name's Aoife, and I just turned 5.
Paimon's not sure who the responsible adult is anymore. So, what about Kakuku? If he was here, we'd be making more of a ruckus than we already are.
That's exactly what's got me worried.
Aoife, there's nothing to worry about. You're a big boy. You can handle yourself now even without Kakuku.
You think that's what I'm worried about? Anyway, my priority right now is Kakuku. Suffice it to say, Kakuku's in big doo-doo.
How so? He's so small, and all he knows are a few harmless phrases. What kind of trouble could he even get himself into?
Let me guess. Did he get caught out by the law on flying objects?
Bro, you too?
Not me. How?
Oh, that pesky little chatterbox. So that's why he hasn't interrupted us this whole time. Guess he's too scared to show his face.
That, plus he's already spouted enough nonsense for one day. So I've put him on mute until tomorrow.
Nice one. If I was even half as decisive as you are, I would have kept a closer hold on Kakuku so he didn't get a chance to go flying off.
Oh no, bro. Or rather, did Kakuku get caught by the guards for flying around?
If they had managed that, we'd at least be able to track him down. But when the guards started chasing him, Kakuku flew into that building next door. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a high-stakes pursuit going down in there as we speak. Just like one of those cool crime movies.
Which building? That one?
Yup, that's the one. Kakuku sure has a good eye for a getaway. It's the tallest building around. I may be able to fly up pretty high, but checking every last window would still take quite a while. As for Aoife, well, let's just say he's not flying anywhere without a Saurian. Sorry about that.
Not like it's my fault, though. You don't have to apologize on my behalf.
Wait a sec. What's this got to do with how high you can fly? Kakuku's got himself into a real mess here, like a panicked animal running straight into a trap. It's pretty worrying. I'm starting to picture him flapping through a barrage of gunfire while important documents are flying about left, right, and center.
Heck yeah! If anyone can pull it off, it's Kakuku. He's always been such an awesome Saurus. I believe in him.
For real now? Do you even hear yourself, bro?
Of course I'm for real. I'd never make light of something like that.
All right. Everyone's an awesome Saurus. Well, the human version. But our priority right now should be to go in there and check up on Kakuku.
Leave it to us.
You sure? Wow, awesome. That'll be a huge help.
And if Kakuku doesn't listen to you, I give you permission to pull out a couple of his feathers.
Wait, since when was that up to you?
Well, then it's your call, bro.
All right then, if Kakuku doesn't listen to you, I also give you permission to pull out a couple of his feathers.
There you go. If he objects to that, tell him to come find us.
He won't. Trust me.
Back when we first met Kakuku in the wild and I begged you to take him under your wing, I never imagined you'd end up spoiling him rotten.
And I never imagined you'd be nagging me about it.
Oh, well, I definitely saw that coming.
Huh?
You're only 5 years old after all.
I have to keep an eye on the deployment of guards at all times.
Nothing new there. The first.
What's all that commotion? Are they arguing in there?
No way, bro!
Did he say he came from Natlan? No.
Get out of here!
I can understand his words, just not what they mean.
Oh no. Bro!
He keeps repeating the same things over and over again. Oh, you know one another.
he's a friend. Yeah, a saurian friend of a human friend.
Great. Well, that was easy. Looks like we've tracked down the owner. Guess that's one less lost and found notice for you to write, Monsieur Neuvillette.
For real?
Traveler, was there something important you wanted to discuss with the Udex? I'm just about done with my business here. Need me to step out?
Stay and hear them out first. Perhaps it will have some bearing on your own work. If I am not mistaken, you are the same Mr. Kinich who served as a witness in the smuggling trial? I take it there's been a further development in the case.
That's right. Very perceptive, Mr. Udex.
So you've met Neuvillette before? But wasn't the trial overseen by another judge?
I've seen his photo in the papers. But as for this other gentleman...
Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Wriothesley, administrator of the Fortress of Meropide. Or in layman's terms, Fontaine's prison warden. Please, feel free to share anything about the case. There's no need to keep anything from him.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you!
Wow, that sounded just like me. But should we really discuss official business in front of the Saurian?
Oh, wow! Oh, no!
I believe he said... Or rather, I suppose he meant that he'll keep this to himself. Though I should mention, Mr. Kukuku, that we will have to ask you to sign a confidentiality agreement.
Sure thing, bro!
Let us return to the matter at hand. Mr. Kinich, was there something else you wanted to discuss relating to the case?
Yes. Let me fill you in.
Wow! It really is exactly like Lapine Pauline's sketch! That must be all that practice drawing engineering blueprints, huh?
So if it's true that this weapon came into Fontaine alongside the contraband from the smuggling case, then there's a high chance we overlooked a suspect.
That's exactly my line of thought.
I see. Mr. Kinich, thank you for reporting this promptly. I'll arrange for the Marechaussee Phantom to investigate right away. We should begin by questioning the prisoners in custody. Wriothesley.
I'll sign off on the interrogation request. Don't you worry.
That would be much appreciated.
It's lucky that the Palais Mermonia wasn't scheduled to release any public bulletins today, and that this gun's lost and found notice hasn't been written up yet. In other words, the news hasn't leaked.
I'll be staying in Fontaine for the time being. If there's any progress in the investigation or you need my help, feel free to reach out anytime.
Yep, we were just about to go help out with Lapine Pauline's convention. If there's any news, we'll keep you all posted.
Marvelous. Thank you all. Well then, all that's left is to...
You miss me, bro?
He really does come out with the most unexpected things. Who did he learn it all from? Huh. Well, it's pretty extraordinary.
Anyway, according to due process, we must first determine whether Mr. Kukuku qualifies as a flying object. And, following on from our conversation just now, he also needs to sign a confidentiality agreement. Drafting said agreement may take some time.
Looks like you'll be staying with us for a while then, Kukuku. Excited?
That would save us a lot of trouble. Many thanks.
All right then, we'd better get going. No need to see us off.
I know you mentioned a while back that people from Natlan would soon start showing up all over the world, but I hadn't expected anything like this.
It seems no matter where they come from, all dragons are inquisitive by nature.
You can say that again, bro!
The same might well be said for humankind. The real reason you chose to stay to investigate this case was your curiosity about Natlan and Mr. Kukuku, was it not?
Guilty as charged. Nothing gets past you. So, how about we take this opportunity to chat a little more? We've got the world's best translator on hand, after all.
Sure thing, bro!
What's the situation? How bad is it? Oh no. When I saw that Kukuku wasn't with you, I'd already prepared myself for the worst.
Relax, Aoife. Maybe Kukuku just prefers high-rise living now. Sometimes you just have to let the kids grow up and make their own choices in life.
For real now? Do you even hear yourself, bro?
It's not that bad. Kukuku's fine. Still very much alive and kicking for starters.
He hasn't been arrested either, so no jail time.
See?
You're not exactly reassuring me here.
As for the bad news, well, it's really not that bad. Kukuku accidentally overheard some top secret stuff, so he has to stay at the Palais Mermonia for a while to sign a confidentiality agreement. But there's no need to worry. The person in charge of looking after Kukuku is super nice, so he'll be absolutely fine.
All right. That doesn't sound too bad after all. Wow, hearing that's put my mind to rest.
But based on my understanding of how things work here, the ban on flying objects should be over by the time Kukuku actually gets out.
What a shame. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to go have some fun without him.
You don't look disappointed in the slightest.
Anyway, Auroron and I will be staying in guest rooms upstairs at the Hotel de Boer for the time being. Feel free to drop by if you need us.
Yay! Problem solved! All right, let's catch up another day.
It should be fine. I'm sure it'll get resolved.
I've never seen anything like it. I simply could not.
We cannot just rely on the ocean's self-regulating ability.
I've realized we're in a bit of a tricky situation here.
What do you mean?
If we go out, we won't have time to watch that film we rented.
But if we stay in and watch the film, we won't have time to go out.
Oh, you realized it too?
Yeah, well, pretty smart for a 5-year-old.
It's been a few days. Ban on flying objects should be over by now. Let's head over to the bad news, though.
Sorry, I did everything within my power. But so far, I've only managed to teach him how to say good morning.
Wait, so that's all you've been up to this whole time? Get out of here! Huh? Okay, so good mornings aside, please tell Paimon there's been some other progress, too.
Of course. That's why I'm here. Kukuku's not the only one that Mr. Wriothesley's been getting to talk. I'm referring, of course, to the convicts.
It was nothing. These guys weren't exactly tough nuts to crack.
So, what's the deal?
After racking their brains, they remembered speaking to an inconspicuous middle-aged man just as they were preparing to pack up and leave Natlan. He was dressed in the manner of the Children of Echoes and carrying a box. Plus, the description matches the one the gun was found in. All in all, he didn't look any different from your average Natlanese traveler. Perhaps seeing that they were dressed as merchants, this man stopped for a chat, inquiring where their goods were headed, and even asking if they could share a boat. The smugglers were very cautious, though. They didn't tell him any specifics. But all this happened before I crossed paths with them. I happened to notice them as they were preparing to set sail. I thought they looked shady, so I snuck aboard, and ended up being carried along all the way to Fontaine.
Boss, do we know if those Fontainians will even like this stuff? What if we can't shift it?
And that's why we call you a rookie. It's all supply and demand, kid. Supply and demand. Natlan's foreign trade is just starting to lift off. There'll be a market for it, you'll see.
That's right. So stop giving the boss trouble, rookie. Just do your job and keep an eye on the goods.
Are they merchants? Have they come to Fontaine to do business? Scarred face. Calloused hands. On closer inspection, the fabric looks worn at the knees and elbows, and his fingernails are dirty. Not exactly your typical merchant. Could he have previously been a warrior? or even an adventurer. Something feels off. I'd better sneak up and get a closer look.
Nice thinking, boss. This tourist tub's been fast going and smooth sailing. Plus, no one's been asking us what we're up to.
That goes without saying. Big cargo ship would have been too slow, whereas the smaller ones would have been faster but way too bumpy. If we ended up damaging the goods by accident, all these months spent grafting away would have gone up in smoke.
Seriously? But there's hardly anything here. Would it really have taken them months to prepare? And why would they need to transport it with such care? Could they be secretly smuggling precious items out of Natlan? I'll need to find a way to get to the bottom of this.
What was that sound?
Boss, do we know if those Fontanians will even like this stuff? What if we can't shift it?
And that's why we call you a rookie.
That's right.
Are they merchants? Have they come to Font Scarred Face? On closer inspect, could he have previously... Something feels off.
Nice thinking, boss. This tourist tub's been fast going and smooth sailing. Plus, no one's been asking us what we're up to.
That goes without saying. Big cargo ship would have been too slow, whereas the smaller ones would have been faster but way too bumpy. If we ended up damaging the goods by accident, all these months spent grafting away would have gone up in smoke.
Seriously? But there's hardly anything here. Would it really have taken them months to prepare? And why would they need to transport it with such care? Could they be secretly smuggling precious items out of Natlan? I'll need to find a way to get to the bottom of this. Let's go hear what these criminals have to say for themselves. Sure enough, there are relics inside the box. It's illegal to smuggle such items outside.
Hey, why the long face? You're abroad on business, and you get to do some sightseeing while you're at it. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me. You better cheer up if you know what's good for you.
I guess you're right. I was just worried I might have messed up with the packing, or that something's gonna go wrong along the way.
Oh, pull yourself together. Tons of foreign tourists come traveling to Fontaine. I bet their luggage is full of all kinds of weird stuff. If someone insists on checking it all, just show them the purchase order we had drawn up. Those Fontainians can't get enough of their legalese, so I've heard. They can look all they want.
Aha. So their aim is to smuggle in contraband after all. Looks like I've gathered enough intel about the smugglers and their contraband. Time to inform port security. So anyway, that was when I went and told the Fontainian guards about my suspicions. After an investigation and a chase, they finally apprehended them and sent them on their way.
Well, guess they're headed exactly where they should be.
Thanks.
Based on your recollections just now.
I was completely focused on those smugglers at the time, so I wasn't really paying attention to other passers-by.
Yeah, Kanish, you did great!
In other words, the person who brought the gun here, the one who lost it, has no connection to the smugglers whatsoever. They were working entirely on their own.
Oh dear, oh dear!
Sounds like Mr. Kakuku wants to chime in?
He said this elusive individual's actions are positively mystifying.
It's a good observation, I quite agree. However, we still know next to nothing about the person. Perhaps we should start by focusing on the lost item itself.
It certainly seems like it was the bait in some kind of trap. The only question is, why wasn't the bait made more conspicuous?
Has something sprung to mind?
I just remembered a film I watched this one time.
Huh? Oh, wow! No way, bro!
Hold on, let me explain. Just now, the traveler speculated that this box might have been placed there on purpose, as if the intention was for someone to come pick it up. That got me thinking about those films about kidnapping cases. When they demand their ransom, the kidnappers tell the victim's family to leave money or valuables at a designated spot for someone to come pick up.
That doesn't merely happen in films. There have been similar cases in real life. In fact, if anything, it's probably the real-life events that inspired the films.
Sounds plausible.
Ooh. Wait. This raises the stakes to a whole new level. If the gun really was some kind of ransom, then since we took the box, the kidnappers never got their payment, so... Does that mean they executed the hostage?
I agree. I don't believe we have a kidnapping on our hands. Selling off stolen goods is extra work that most kidnappers would want to avoid. Unless they're after something very specific, they tend to just ask for cash. Could we be dealing with a kidnapper who's dead set on getting their hands on an ancient dragon handgun? It's not impossible, but the likelihood is very slim. We can discount that possibility for now. And speaking of selling stolen goods, don't you think this looks more like a transaction?
So, bottom line, this was an individual smuggler at work.
Exactly. And it was the location itself that caused the deal to fall through. The last thing they would have expected was for a quiet beach to turn into a bustling film convention overnight. Not only is the area now packed with tourists, but the Spina di Rosula have a presence there. I'll bet that both parties were completely caught off guard.
That sounds like a plausible theory, but how do we verify it?
Looks like your people better start rolling up their sleeves.
How so?
Easy. Just follow the usual procedure by putting up a lost and found notice. The more routine we make it seem, the more likely the suspect will come forward to claim it. Even if they send a proxy, we're liable to get our hands on new leads. And timing-wise, it's about time we updated the bulletin board anyway. All we need now is a lucky gestionnaire to write up the notice for us post-haste.
Ah, so that's what you meant by rolling up their sleeves. In that case, I may as well write it myself. Delegating this to someone else would require an additional explanation.
Or are you just not used to asking others to work overtime?
Is that really a major concern here?
Well, looks like I won't be needed around here. At least until the notice has been posted.
You could always wait here if you like. The Palais Mermonia serves a particularly fine cup of tea if that swings it for you.
Thanks, but no thanks. I left a very noisy creature with a friend before heading out, so I should probably get back to feed it.
Ah, I wasn't aware that you had a pet, Mr. Kanich. Speaking of pets...
Get out of here! Out of here!
Yep, that's the plan. Out of here indeed.
I believe that what Wriothesley is trying to say is, you are free to leave, Mr. Kukuku. Furthermore, it has been determined that Mr. Kukuku should not, in fact, be classified as a flying object. As such, he shall be free to move around Fontaine whenever he so pleases.
You're the best, bro. Oh, that really is good news! Travelers, should we bring Kukuku back to Aoife and Auroron?
I shall leave him in your capable hands. Indeed.
You know, all this has made me realize that I'd quite like to have a pet.
If that proves inconvenient within the fortress of Meropide, perhaps you should consider finding a place in the court of Fontaine.
That actually sounds like a good idea. In the past, I always dismissed the idea of buying a property in the city. The prophecy about the floods meant it never seemed like a worthwhile investment. But now...
This might be a good time for you to re-examine the documents I gave you regarding your title as Duke.
Huh?
Citizens with honorary titles are eligible for certain benefits when purchasing property in the court of Fontaine.
Really?
How about this? You read through your documents from start to finish, while I write up the lost and found notice.
These newcomers are full of enthusiasm.
Ahau.
What? What now?
Let's shake hands.
Fine by me. Get ready for a knuckle sandwich!
Oh, nice dodge.
Paimon feels strangely inclined to keep a safe distance. Did you miss me, bro?
Kukuku, you're free!
Ugh, not you again. Nope, didn't miss you in the slightest.
Hey, Gramps. And hey, Paimon and Kinich. It's good to see you all. Thanks for bringing Kukuku back.
Get it away! Get it away from me! Nice to meet you, bro. Who are you calling bro? Say that again to my face! I dare you.
If you've got the energy to argue this much, you're clearly not hungry yet. Let's go find something to eat while Ahau lives his best life.
Poor Ahau. He spent all day being tormented by Auroron, only to discover that the suffering's just begun.
Aoife, as a Saurian vet, how can you just sit back and watch our little dragon bro suffer?
Huh? How am I the bad guy?
Even hear yourself? Ah! Doesn't anyone want to hear how Kukuku got out of jail?
Don't lose hope, Ahau. By the same standard, you have freedom of movement now, too. You're still in the game?
Same standard? I will not be held to the same standard as that thing!
That's right. You won't. As far as I understand, the Palais Mermonia will want to assess your case on its own merits before they grant you freedom of movement.
Where's that saurian meat restaurant again? I'm gonna march that little pink balloon right into the kitchen!
Yeah, good luck with that, bro. You'll be putting your own neck on the line, too.
Also, there's no such restaurant!
Anyway, thanks for looking after Ahau, guys. I'll take over from here.
Why, you? Between the two, Kukuku wins the cuteness competition hands down. Really? Thanks! Wait, who are the other contestants, though?
So now that our crew's back together again, what's our next move? Oh, how about a game of rock, paper, scissors?
No chance. If I lose, we'll end up stuck in the room watching films all over again.
Nope. This time, we'll only watch a film if I lose instead.
Had enough too, huh?
For real now? Come on, bro!
Can we just ditch this whole leaving it all to chance thing? Why don't we take our fate into our own hands?
Aren't we doing that already? Rock, paper, scissors uses our hands.
Don't know why you're laughing. You're stuck with paper every time.
You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourselves?
So you're Linny. And where's your sister? Ain't she with you today? Save us the trouble and go fetch her for us. Let's not drag this out.
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister! Who sent you, huh?
Save your questions, missy. You ain't gonna need answers where you're going. Capiche?
Looks like we can't avoid this fight. Now, I'm not the strongest fighter, so I hope you're ready to back me up.
Don't worry, we got this!
On the way now. Curses. They're tougher than we thought.
Vision wielders are always trouble. Intimidation ain't gonna work like it did on the lady.
Come on, let's scram!
Hey, wise guys! We ain't through with you yet! Oh, they got away! Did you catch what they said just before they left? Something about intimidating someone else. Sounds like they just wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic, and they've already done it to someone else, but who? You're right. She was injured when we saw her yesterday, and she acted like she had something to hide. Maybe she was too scared to tell us the truth because those guys had threatened her.
Well, if that's the case, she should be more willing to open up to us once she learns that those thugs won't be bothering her anymore. Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from her.
Gemma?
You again. What is it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and we gave them a taste of their own medicine. So, you can relax now. We're here to protect you.
What? Why? I didn't tell you anything. Why would they come after you?
Sounds like they're no strangers to you.
That's putting it mildly. I know them all too well, and I hate them with every fiber of my being. It's been 10 long years, and still every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn me not to do anything stupid. How do I know I can trust you? Do you really think you can get to the bottom of it all? And why are you doing this?
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this. I will expose the Phantom Weasel's true identity. Because you see, this is a personal matter of the utmost importance. I give you my word. Trust me.
Okay. How can I help you?
I've heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. If possible, I'd like to take a look at them. Do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Sonde. But the place was sealed up by the police after his death, and no one's been there since. I also know that the Fleuve Sonde is dangerous territory. Lots of hostile groups lurking around. If you're serious about going there, please be careful.
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take care of Gemma. Don't let her come to harm.
Got it. But if I'm staying here, I'm ordering dessert.
I mean, bon appetit. But stay sharp, too. They're likely to come for you while I'm away.
Okay. Alright. Power saving mode off. I'll start taking this more seriously now.
Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Huh. Looks like these boxes are blocking the entrance. Let's shift them away first. There we go. It should be just down here.
This was Caesar's workshop. Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. Let's head in further. What was that? Oh, is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Guess we must have triggered some sort of device.
Solidify!
The tides beckon.
Dawn, break forth!
Whoa. Look, the doll in the box is glowing. Something written on the card on this doll. Let's take a closer look. These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
Stay cool. Face your guilt.
That's weird. Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here. Maybe this was a wasted trip.
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. There's a distinct lack of mystery. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting to wonder whether Caesar built this whole place as one big, elaborate magic contraption. If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe a hidden room somewhere. Aha! If I just move this book, then hopefully... And... presto!
A secret passageway! How did you know?
I'm a magician too, and apparently great minds really do think alike. Looks pretty big inside. Let's head in and take a look around.
Gather! This is order. Settle down. Huh. Bow your head. Ah!
Why have you stopped, Lenny? Is there some device in that box?
Huh. It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go on ahead. If anyone makes a major discovery, let's rendezvous here.
All right, see you in a bit. on the same tile twice. Guess we've got to finish it in one run, huh? Of magic. Whew. Much too advanced for Paimon. Hey, look! Is that Caesar's diary on the table? This book's thick as a brick! Let's take a peek inside it, shall we?
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how I pulled candy out of my hat. As a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole bunch of kids were pestering me to pull all sorts of things out of the hat. So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, they took me up on that offer. Enthusiastically. As I write this, I've only just got back from running around all over town, buying the things they wanted. Boy, are my legs sore. I wound up saving very little this month, but that's not a major issue. I now have a bigger problem. How am I going to hide all these things inside my hat? Two children came to talk to me after today's show. I don't know why they were out on their own. They looked much too young to be unsupervised. I do hope they got home safely. Anyway, they said that they wanted me to teach them how to do magic. It's not uncommon for children to ask this, of course, but I've never seen any of them as serious about it as these two. I told them that learning magic is very hard work. But that didn't faze them at all. It's like they already knew. They seemed so committed. I couldn't turn them down. It seems like something's bothering Lorenzo lately, but he won't open up to me about it. Surely he's not upset that I agreed to teach those two children. I'll have to talk him around. I have a good feeling about those kids. They're naturally talented, and it seems like they're not new to the world of magic. They have all sorts of fantastic ideas. All I'm really doing is helping them develop a more professional standard training plan. They wanted to call me Master, but I told them they absolutely mustn't. Any magician worth their salt could have taught them what I have. They're the geniuses here. Compared to them, I don't deserve to be called any sort of master. With time, I have no doubt that they could become far greater magicians than I. My only concern is why they're so mature for their age. I fear they've had to grow up too fast. I don't dare to imagine what they must have been through. Gemma thinks so too. She doesn't like being around them. Says that their eyes are too piercing. They don't bother me, but then again, I've never been the sharpest tool in the shed. It's nearly time for me to go on tour. I asked the two kids if they'd like to come with me, but they shook their heads. I once overheard them talking about their father and their mission. Sounds like their parents have other plans for them. I guess we'll be parting ways soon. It's only been 10 days since I first met them, but I think that I've gotten a feel for their personalities now. They're very tough, but also very cautious, and they trust no one but each other. This, I fear, is not a good habit to have. They hide things from me too. For example, when I asked them where they live and why they wanted to learn magic, they lied. That's the thing about children. Whenever they're trying to cover something up, it always shows somehow. I can sense that their lives have been hard, possibly even dangerous too. They're not like other children. It's a shame that I can't do more to help them. After thinking things over, I decided to tell them a bit about how I see the world. It's full of lies and falsehoods, and that is why we must find our own truth. P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging annoying. Children are so opinionated nowadays. Will it do them more harm than good for someone they've only known 10 days to lecture them like that? P.P.S. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Children aren't interested in grand philosophies. It probably just went in one ear and out the other. I bet they've already forgotten every word I said. Oh, Caesar, Caesar. Just mind your own business next time.
magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh? Sounds a lot like he was writing about Linny and Lynette, don't you think? So did they meet Caesar when they were kids? Let's go ask Linny!
Hold that thought. As I expected, there's a lot of fishy things going on in this place.
Fishy? Uh-oh, what have you found?
All in good time. Before we go over our new leads, I want to tell you how a high-altitude escape is performed. First, the magician slots themselves into a magic box in full view of the audience. The box is then suspended high in the air, and a short while later, the base automatically opens. At this point, a dummy will fall out of the box, but it looks real enough to grab the audience's attention, and they start wailing and screaming. Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended into the crowd, waits for a good moment to make their appearance and put on a hysterical performance. Oh no! Is that me? Did I just fall to my death?
Very vivid description. Paimon can really picture it. And then what?
The audience's gaze then turns to the magician, and by the time they realize what's happened, the dummy has vanished, as if everything that just happened was some sort of shared illusion. Of course, that's just how I think the process should work, theoretically speaking. The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. When the box opened, Caesar was the one who fell out, and not the dummy. He fell right to the ground from the highest point of the opera house. No one could hope to survive that fall, not without a vision at least. And no one else has ever attempted this trick since. My understanding of how it works is just based on what I could gather from his notes and the relevant gadgets here in his workshop.
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh? Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person, but if it's that dangerous, it's probably for the best that no one else tries to do it. Wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then where does the real magician go? How does he get out?
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret of said box. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance, and it's not as simple as it looks. Inside, there's a device that only the magician himself would know about. Once the magician's inside and the box is lifted up into the air, the audience's view of the box is fixed at a certain angle. From where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom, but the back and the top are now no longer visible. At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box, opening a secret door out of view. He then escapes through this trapdoor onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract the audience, and quietly returns to ground level.
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined. Even Paimon could probably do it.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part of this trick is controlling the audience's mood and reactions. That takes an exceptional degree of showmanship. There's the falling dummy, the miraculous reappearance, the pompous performing. Maybe the magician would even have themselves tied up before it begins to strengthen the impression that there's no escape. Many days and nights of careful research and painstaking practice would have gone into this, all culminating in a performance just a few minutes long, but one that still manages to transform the shock and grief of a tragic accident to the joy and laughter of a mesmerizing magic trick. Caesar was a highly accomplished magician. But unfortunately, even he didn't manage to pull it off.
So, how did it go so wrong? You said you found some fishy stuff here. Have you figured out what really happened?
I can make a pretty good guess. I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button I mentioned positioned on the right-hand side. And, sure enough, he always used his right hand as his dominant hand in public.
Okay. Nothing suspicious there.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here, which leads me to believe that Caesar was in fact left-handed. Because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out too much. People naturally focus their attention on the most important details of the task or situation at hand. But a magician needs to be able to redirect an audience's attention at will, so as to avoid arousing their suspicion. The essence of magic is getting people to believe a lie. If even the truth raises eyebrows, the falsehoods become all the more difficult to mask. And so, Caesar trained himself to use his right hand to align with his audience's expectations. Great magic always requires sacrifices. But in his most stressful and nerve-wracking moments, and when no one was watching, reflex would kick in and he'd use his left hand. That's why he set his gadgets with the mechanism on his left. Exactly. I think that's likely what happened. Caesar would have been under a lot of time pressure during the escape. He'd have had mere seconds to open the hidden compartment, retrieve the dummy, then open the secret door and make a swift escape. But I'm sure he was confident. He would have rehearsed countless times to the point where it was second nature. He'd barely need to think about what he was doing because muscle memory would guide him through. So he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked everything was in order, and then went to leave. With his left hand, he reached for the button, and suddenly, his heart skipped a beat. It wasn't there. Much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty, his mind needed a moment to process what was going on. Instinctively, his left hand would keep feeling around for the missing button, maybe for another second or two, until the bottom of the box gave way. With the stakes being as high as they were, just a 2-second delay cost him everything. The authorities would find nothing suspicious and conclude that his death was due to his own error.
When in reality, someone switched the boxes, and they did it to murder him. But how would they be able to make the switch without being noticed? That would be difficult to pull off, no?
It would have to have been someone who knew that he was left-handed, and who could move his props around without arousing suspicion. Someone who was always by his side. Isn't that right, Lorenzo?
You just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie, could you? There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago. I didn't want to have to do this, you know. Silencing you the hard way just creates more problems for me to deal with. But I gave you your chance. I hoped you'd do what's good for you and back off like the lady, but you disappoint me.
You mean Gemma? So you are the one who's been threatening her!
Yes, although however stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability. But you people, you never even knew him, but for some reason you just wouldn't drop it. which is why you can't leave this place alive. Take them out, and make it quick.
Do your worst!
Stabilize! Let the mighty be humbled! Dawn, break forth! Order guide you! Gather! It's gonna get a little chilly. You kids are tougher than you look.
Had enough yet, Lorenzo? Your cronies can't help you now. I think it's high time you started talking, and what I'd really like to know is, why did you murder Caesar?
If I had a Mora for every time you said that man's name. Of course you idolized Caesar, everyone else did. But I was the real genius magician. Me! He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the fine art it is today. The aristocrats doffed their hats to me!
So it was jealousy.
Jealousy. Hatred, more like. I hated Caesar. All he cared about was his magic. He lived and breathed it. He poured everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him, never bothering to think about Mora. What sort of fool devotes their life to the art of deception and never has a Mora to show for it? But the people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. No one gave me a second look. All I ever heard was, "Oh, your master's amazing, isn't he?" Amazing? Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the skills, and it brought me nothing more than the life I already had. He forbade me from using magic to trick people out of their Mora. There was nothing he hated more than that. And with his reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, if I dabbled in my own brand of money-making magic, he would expose me, and it would destroy me. I had to kill him. There was no other way. He had to go.
And this was your only motive?
It was reason enough. What other motive would I need?
Well, I was under the impression that there might have been other factors at play. For instance, maybe you were in love with Gemma, but she was engaged to Caesar.
In love with Gemma? Don't be ridiculous.
Guess I was wrong about that then. Next question. Are you the Phantom Weasel?
I am. Caesar was so strict with me. He insisted that his way was the right way, that the sole purpose of magic was to bring joy to the world. I never bought into any of that. I was more interested in the practical value of magic. Sure enough, it helped me fill my pockets with all kinds of valuable treasures.
Oh, yeah! Charlotte told us that the weasel would steal whatever people valued, no matter how much he was worth.
That's just how it looked from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I've only ever targeted high-value items. I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft. It was other people's overactive imaginations that conjured up the preposterous image they then dubbed the Phantom Weasel.
So, that's the story, huh? Well, I hope you're ready to tell it all over again during your trial.
What choice do I have? You're a pack of wolves, and you've got me between your jaws. You've seen what's here, and my last-ditch effort to stop it getting out has failed. What else can I do? So be it. I've enjoyed power and wealth for the last 10 years, the likes of which Caesar could never give me. I wouldn't choose for things to end this way, but I regret nothing.
Very well. In that case, I'll contact the guards. Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for me. I'll meet you just outside the workshop when I'm back.
At least I can finally stop looking over my shoulder now.
Lily has told me the whole story. Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to framing him for the Phantom Weasel's crimes?
Look who's finally developed a conscience. What kind of disciple murders their own master? I hope it was worth it, because there'll be hell to pay.
Looks like it's all over. What should we do next, Lenny? Should we start preparing for your show?
Let me think. Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first. With Lorenzo in custody, Gemma will no longer have to fear for her safety.
Good point! We should go tell Gemma the good news right away! It'll give her some peace of mind for sure!
You're back. You were so quick. I've only just finished my third dessert.
Your third? Lynette, come on, we've talked about this. Everything in moderation. You're not gonna have any room left for dinner now.
It's fine. I'll shift to exercise mode and jog off the excess sugar.
That's besides the point. Well, it's done now. But try to eat a more balanced diet in the future.
Point taken.
Did everything go okay?
Of course! Lorenzo was no match for us. The guards are taking him into custody as we speak.
Gosh, that's amazing. I'm sorry, I still didn't know if I could trust you, but now it seems I can. I had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but It's
okay, we understand. He did threaten you. Paimon would find it hard learned to trust strangers in your position, too. But you don't need to be scared anymore. Everything's gonna be okay.
Sorry. My emotions are all over the place right now. I've been waiting for this day to come for so long. I always wanted to report Lorenzo. He took all of Caesar's property, which I found suspicious, but I had people watching me all the time, so I couldn't risk looking into it. I was so afraid. I was scared he'd do something terrible to me, and then no one would be left to visit Caesar's grave. So I never had the courage to speak out. Thank you all. Truly. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for clearing Caesar's name. I never would have guessed that Lorenzo was the real Phantom Weasel. He never showed any signs that there were problems between him and Caesar in public. From the outside, it looked like they got along great. And to think that lowlife's been living life to the fullest all this time, while Caesar's name was getting dragged through the mud. It's a travesty. At least his soul can finally rest in peace now, thanks to your efforts.
If only I'd realized before it was too late.
Don't blame yourself, Gemma. This isn't your fault.
Yeah, you still have the rest of your life to live. Caesar wouldn't want to see you spending it feeling guilty.
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing a magic show at the Opera House tomorrow evening. Would you like to come along? It might raise your spirits. This show will be a special one. We're holding it in Caesar's honor.
In Caesar's honor? Really? Oh, thank you. I'll be there.
Great. We'll see you tomorrow evening. Traveler, Paimon, don't be late.
Don't worry, we'll be there. No way are we gonna miss out on a free magic show. Wait, Paimon feels like we're forgetting something. Oh yeah, Caesar's diary! We never found out if the two kids Caesar taught magic to were Linny and Lynette or not. Linny changed the topic back in the workshop, so we didn't get a chance to bring it up. Oh well, guess we'll just have to ask Linny tomorrow evening.
Not this time. My brother's going solo today. So, I'll be watching with you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's ready because the show is about to begin. The great magician Linny has prepared a spectacular show for us all tonight, concluding with an all-new grand finale that no audience has ever seen before.
Thank you all so much for coming. Now, prepare to join me on a journey through the mystical and miraculous.
Exciting stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it's just... It reminds me of him.
No wonder. Caesar was a famous magician too. So, how did you two first meet, Gemma?
Well, I was out on the street once, and I saw him performing for little children. Children love magic, because they're willing to believe in things that can't be rationally explained. Caesar had this amazing way of bringing them into a dreamlike world. And somehow, I felt drawn to him too. So I went up and asked him to do a trick for me.
Aw, that sounds so romantic. What trick did he do?
It was with a flower. He took it in his hand, snapped his fingers, and it magically appeared on my head. I was so happy that day. No one had ever given me a flower before that.
Oh, that's so cute! Actually, now that you mention it, Linny's done that one before.
Is that right? Then I suppose he's a romantic at heart, just like Caesar. So let's treasure the time we have with him. After all, you never know when the people dearest to you might be gone.
That's right. It's all over now. Paimon doesn't really know how to comfort you, but at the very least, no one's gonna be intimidating you from now on. You can breathe easy at last, right?
Right. Yes, you can breathe easy now, Phantom Weasel.
See? Even Lynette says... Wait, what? The Phantom Weasel? Lorenzo escaped? Where is he?
What do you mean, Phantom Weasel?
As Linny once said, a performer's job is to commit fully to their role and put on a flawless performance for their audience. But once the bag of tricks is empty and the curtain falls, it's time to end the show. The spotlight is no place for someone with no more cards up their sleeve. It's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving widow act? I think it's time to put an end to it.
What are you talking about? Paimon doesn't like this riddle. Traveler, Paimon doesn't like where this is going. Come on, say something!
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying the performance so far. There will now be a brief intermission, after which Linny will perform the most electrifying act of tonight's show, the one we've all been waiting for. The final performance will take place outside of the Opera House, so please make your way outside in a calm and orderly fashion.
The Phantom Weasel never did like public places, did they? Don't worry, this place will be quiet soon. Let's talk somewhere else for now.
Dear me, this is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so I'm afraid I can't do any tricks to liven up the mood. This is a big mistake for a magician to make, but thankfully, I do have a backup plan. Now, who wants to hear a story?
Lenny? Don't we have more important things to address right now? Lynette accused Gemma of being the real Phantom Weasel a moment ago. Oh, what the heck's going on?
All in good time. Magicians are good at guessing what people are thinking. I know the questions you want to ask. And as it happens, the story I'm about to tell might answer a few of them.
Really? Well then, let's hear it! Paimon's dying of curiosity here!
Let's go back to the very beginning. A decade ago, when the Phantom Weasel was terrorizing the court of Fontaine. She never missed a target, never left a trace, and no treasure was safe from her thieving hands. But as her infamy grew, so did the readiness of the police, and her opportunities to act became ever fewer. Every day she ran the risk of being exposed for who she was. Of course, she could not simply take this lying down, and before long she found her ticket to freedom. She would create a scapegoat, a false weasel to close the chapter on her behalf. After weighing her options, she set her sights on a renowned magician, Caesar. After all, magic and theft shared enough similarities for people to buy the story when the truth came out.
So then what?
Being the master deceiver she was, the weasel easily earned Caesar's trust. Now all that remained was to frame him for her countless crimes. But as she was considering how to make her move, she noticed Caesar's aggrieved pupil, and a new thought entered her mind. Maybe I don't need to get my hands dirty after all. At her encouragement, Lorenzo tampered with Caesar's magic box, causing him to fall to his death. Afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. Two co-conspirators committed the perfect crime.
I've got to hand it to you. You're both exceptional storytellers. It's enough to make even me wonder whether there was really another mastermind behind all this, pulling the strings. But I just have one question. You seem to think that I am the villain in this tale. What's brought this on, Linny? Is it something that Lorenzo said?
Don't worry, Lorenzo said nothing at all. But I never believed that he was the weasel, and in fact, my investigation only made me more certain of that. He was too forthcoming with his confession, as if there was something else he was trying to hide.
How disappointing. So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me, even without a shred of evidence?
A magician is an expert at playing the audience to get the result they want. And I have no doubt that you, Gemma, are equally talented in this regard. With a little help from Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The lovesick fiancé, whose devotion to her betrothed is unshakable, even under threats of violence. Caesar was maligned and hated by all for 10 years, but you? Everyone sympathized with your plight. Who would suspect for 1 second that the lovely young lady always seen weeping in front of Caesar's grave was actually the mastermind behind his demise? No, not that poor lady. Perish the thought.
Wait, so you mean whole intimidation thing was just a hoax? Gemma and Lorenzo were both in on it? But why would Lorenzo agree to that? And why didn't he sell her out even at the end instead of admitting to being the weasel himself?
Yes, why indeed? Maybe Gemma herself could enlighten us on that question.
Well, Linny, if you're so confident in your version of events, then I think the answer should be obvious. Having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But if the Weasel remained free, then she could take care of Lorenzo's loved ones.
An excellent answer, though sadly a little dull.
Is that right? Well, don't let me bore you. If you care to change the topic to something more interesting, I'd be much obliged.
As a matter of fact, there's one thing I'd really like to understand. Why would the real Weasel have targeted things that only have value to other people? Could you shed any light on that?
Of course. After all, we're just telling stories here, aren't we? If I had to guess, I would say that the real Weasel must have had a terrible childhood. Left to fend for herself after her parents died young. Betrayed, scorned, beaten. She'd scrounge waste paper from garbage bins to draw on, using twigs and dirt for lack of ink and pen. She'd sew ugly ragdolls from whatever scrap material she could get her hands on. This was her only source of happiness in life. But it was all she needed, and she was content. Until the world decided that even this was too good for her. Once again, she was betrayed. And this time, everything was taken from her. She felt like life was a miry pit that dragged her further down the more she struggled to escape. At that tender age, she should have been happy. Instead, she stood in the shadows and watched with envy as all good things in the world passed her by. This was a fate too cruel for anyone to bear. Her pain became a breeding ground for dark thoughts. Thoughts which festered and grew into a twisted solution to her troubles. I detest the happiness of others, in all its forms alike. I will rob them of everything they hold to be good and true, and it will fill the void in my soul.
That's some pretty heavy stuff.
Now it all makes sense.
Does this story satisfy you, Linny?
Yes, it is quite to my tastes. Thank you for helping to clear up my confusion.
Huh. That's right. What drove you to write that letter, Gemma? What were you trying to achieve there? Because without that, none of this would have ever come to light.
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would be consigned to the history books by now. But it seems like someone still wasn't ready to let her finally be at peace. Linny. Or should I call you the Phantom Copycat now? You were the one who posted that letter outside the Opera House. But why?
Very sharp, Phantom Weasel. Still as shrewd as ever. Well, no need for me to be coy about it. Our goal was to clear Caesar's name. The most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the Weasel to show themselves.
That's it? You had no other agenda?
Of course we did. We made it quite clear in the letter, I believe. I shall take from you that which you hold most dear, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
10 years ago? You mean Caesar's death? You met him? Wait. Oh, I get it. You were those two obnoxious kids. It's been so long, and you're all grown up now. I didn't recognize you. He taught you magic back then, didn't he? For what, 10 days or something? And you went to all this trouble. Why? Because you feel like you still owe him something?
We remember all our debts, however great or small. 10 years ago, Caesar's reputation was torn to shreds, and his legacy was thrown out. 10 years on, and no one cares what the truth is anymore. But we did not forget, and so we came to find you.
And? What exactly did you take from me? I'm still standing, as you can see. Lorenzo has admitted to everything. I'm free.
Free? Do you really think so? Caesar once told me that even though the world is filled with lies and falsehoods, we must find our own truth. I think that applies to you too. Truth can take many forms. Prized possessions with nostalgic value, fervent hopes and dreams, and irreplaceable people. Life took many things from you, and those wounds never healed. When they ached unbearably in the dead of night, stealing became your way of numbing the pain.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that for the last 10 years, you've been living a rather uneventful life. Perhaps that's because you found something other than a life of crime to fill the hole? Back to Lorenzo for a second. He murdered his own master, played along with your act, and took pains to make sure any suspicion would be directed towards him. But what did he have to gain from all that? He knew who you were and the things you'd done, and despite that, he was willing to give everything up for your sake. He's the reason that you haven't felt the compulsion to steal in all these years. You're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. So I think you know, deep down, that he is the only truth you have in your life. But that truth is gone now. And I guarantee you, you'll never see it again.
Congratulations on your freedom, Gemma.
Your freedom will cost you dearly. From now on, you'll be all alone in a world full of lies and falsehoods. I do hope you'll be able to bear it. You've still got a long life ahead of you after all.
Gather round, one and all. The time has now come for the amazing Linny to perform his final act in tonight's show. I'm sure you're all wondering what he has planned for the grand finale. Well, wonder no more, for the answer is a death-defying high-altitude escape.
A high-altitude escape?
I'm sure you all remember the magician Caesar. This was the very trick that led to his fatal fall, after which he was dubbed the Phantom Weasel. So we have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused, and that the real Weasel has now confessed to their crimes.
Guess that's my cue to leave. Whew. I've been practicing this one for ages now, but I'm still a little nervous. Traveler, Paimon, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people watching tonight, but you alone are my true witnesses.
Linny, wait. You two hid a lot from Caesar. He went to his grave without ever knowing your secrets. So what about now? Are you an open book? Or are you still the same as ever? You don't have to tell lies to end up isolated and alone. One day, you'll end up exactly where I am today. Maybe then you'll finally understand.
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
So, what are we, doing now?
Like Linny said,
When you're ready, let's head outside and watch the show.
But what about Gemma?
She'll figure out what's best for her soon enough. Oh, and if you'd like to see Linny after the show, you know where he'll be. The usual haunt.
All right. Well, let's go and watch Lenny's finale then. This trick's a pretty dangerous one, but he should be able to pull it off, right?
Magic should be mysterious, surprising, and defy logic. Magic is hard work. Every single movement has to be practiced thousands of times.
It's alright. We're used to that.
We're sorry. You've taught us so much, but we can't tell you the whole truth.
It's okay. Do you still remember what I told you? This world is full of lies and falsehoods. I only hope that one day you can find your own truth.
What about you? Have you found your truth?
Magic is my truth. I want to perform a magic trick so great that people will always think of me when they talk about it. For a magician, what greater honor could there be?
Look! Behold! Linny is sealed inside the box. Will he manage to escape? 10 years ago, Caesar attempted this very trick, and it was at this precise moment that...
Lenny! Watch out!
Mysterious. Surprising. And logic-defying. Isn't that right? This honor belongs to you, Caesar. I'm just sorry it's a little late.
Did you see that? 1 minute he was falling, and the next, he turned into flowers.
How could he possibly have done that?
How mysterious. I didn't blink once. He just vanished, right in front of my eyes.
What a heart-stopping magic show! This was really worth the trip. Caesar's name has finally been cleared, and Fontaine's new star magician Linny has fulfilled a wish on his behalf. Oh, I couldn't ask for a better grand finale. It will make a great headline for the Steambird tomorrow, even if I do say so myself. Whew. Looks like everyone really loved Linny's grand finale. Paimon doesn't see Linny anywhere. Where'd he go? Oh, Lynette said he'd be waiting for us at the usual hunt. But, where is that? Oh, you mean the one where Caesar's buried? Yeah, that's probably it. This whole magic show kinda seemed like Linny's way of saying goodbye to Caesar. So it makes sense that that's where he'd be afterward. Alright, let's go look for him there. Are you alright? Paimon was scared to death when the chain broke. Paimon was sure something had gone horribly wrong.
Magic is a performance art. A magician has to get creative to keep the audience on tenterhooks. That's our job. So I tweaked Caesar's original setup a little to keep it fresh. I was honestly a little nervous during the live performance. The thought of falling, suddenly feeling weightless, seeing the sky and the ground spinning and spinning. Sometimes, I can't help but wonder what Caesar thought in those final moments. Did he regret taking Gemma and Lorenzo on? Or did he believe that it was his own slip-up right until the end?
You know, Paimon's been wanting to ask you about something ever since we were in Caesar's workshop. You learned magic from Caesar once, didn't you? When was that?
After I joined the House of the Hearth. To be honest, Lynette and I had an agenda when we approached him. I told you about my past before, remember? As a young boy, I survived by secretly learning magic from street performers. I'd watch their tricks and try to figure out how they were done. But I quickly realized that observation alone could only get me so far. What I saw was the polished final performance, but the rigorous training they put in behind the scenes remained invisible to me. I needed to learn how to improve my sleight of hand, hone my misdirection skills, and make niftier props. We were gifted enough that we'd made some progress by ourselves, but without proper guidance from a professional magician, we quickly plateaued.
So that's why you sought Caesar out?
Yes. We figured there was no harm in asking, but it took us by surprise that he was so willing to teach us. In all, we only spent 10 short days together, but he was very good to us. By contrast, we hid so many things from him. For instance, when he asked why I wanted to learn magic, I answered, "It's my passion." But in truth, there was already a lot more to the story by then. After being taken in by an aristocrat for our magic talent, then betrayed soon after, this was no longer about me doing what I loved. What amazed me was how the lie escaped my lips even as I was hesitating over whether to tell him the truth. Trust is a beautiful thing. Sadly, I'd forgotten how to trust by then.
Winnie.
Still worried about the way I feel? You really are a gentle soul, aren't you? But don't worry, I'm used to it now. From the mansions of the elite to the House of the Hearth, lies and selfishness have followed me and Lynette everywhere we go. After Caesar went on tour, we became busy with our missions. The next we heard of him was that he'd fallen to his death, and was now declared to be the Phantom Weasel. That night, I remembered his smile. But as I lay there, I didn't know what to say to him. To keep secrets is to put up walls. The longer you keep them up, the less you let people in. Then, one day, you look around and realize your life is like an empty auditorium after a show, full of seats once occupied by all the people who left. But I guess that's the price we have to pay. You only realize how much someone really meant to you when you lose them completely. That's why I was so confident this would hurt Gemma. Because I felt it for myself.
Yeah, cheer up, Winnie. We've had to say our fair share of goodbyes during our journey, too. But whatever happens, Paimon always believes in what tomorrow brings. Delicious food, fun toys, and the Traveler by my side. Paimon just needs to focus on things like this, and all the unhappy stuff goes right out the window. You know, Traveler, doesn't that kinda make you Paimon's truth?
Exactly. It's the same for me and Lynette. We are the truest thing each other has in the world, and nothing can replace that. Life has taken plenty from us, like it did from Gemma. But at least it left us with each other. That's what gave us the strength to get through the darkest days. That's why the darkness never consumed me, and why it never will. Maybe we live in the shadows too, but we remember every precious ray of light that shines through. All right, time to lighten this conversation up a little. What did you think of the show tonight? Were you happy with it?
It was amazing! Paimon just wishes we hadn't been so distracted with the Gemma situation. We spent most of our time in the Opera House just talking and pretty much missed the entire first half of the show. Lenny, could you do just one more trick for us?
Whoa, that's a bit of a tall order, I'm afraid. The show's just finished, so my sleeves are decidedly card-free right now.
Aw, come on! Surely you can think of something. The Lenny Paimon knows can do anything if he puts his mind to it.
Oh, all right then. I'll give it a go, but only because it's you. Watch closely. I have a flower in my hand.
You liar! There's nothing in your hand! We ain't going along with this!
Huh? My goodness, you're right. But I could have sworn I brought one here with me. Okay, try this. Count down with me. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Now, have another look around. Maybe the flowers appeared somewhere else.
Really? Let's see. Wow, there it is! Oh, this is a different flower from the last time, right? This one's called, a rainbow rose. But more importantly, Paimon has to know how the trick is done. Please, Lenny, pretty please!
Well, if you want to learn magic, you'll have to start by addressing me as teacher.
Ugh. Fine. Please, teacher, please!
Since you asked so nicely, I'll share one little tip with you. Namely, the student of magic cannot solely rely on others being prepared to reveal their secrets. You have to observe, think, and find the answers for yourself.
Is that it?
Look at the time. We shouldn't linger here too long. Thanks again for coming to see my show. I bid you both good night. I look forward to seeing you again.
All right, fine. See ya. Shall we head back now, too? Oh, Paimon can't wait to read The Steambird tomorrow. Paimon bets Lenny and Caesar will be plastered all over it. Let's head to the Steambird's offices tomorrow morning and see what we can find out.
I'm very sorry, Charlotte, but my sister and I are quite busy today. I'm afraid we'll have to decline this interview.
Oh, please, Lenny, I'll only take a moment of your time, if you would be so kind.
Huh? What's happening here?
I spent all night writing my piece about the Phantom Weasel, and it was going to go to print this morning. But
just as dawn broke, I suddenly received news that Caesar's fiancée, Gemma, had contacted the guards and confessed to having been the real Phantom Weasel all along.
That was quick.
Too late, bro.
That was quick, you say? It sounds like I've got some catching up to do. Please, fill me in. Whoops.
Aha! My instincts did not lead me astray. You do have something to hide. Gemma turning herself in must have something to do with Linny's performance last night.
Maybe watching my high-altitude escape trick reminded her of a better time with Caesar, and she could no longer ignore the voice of her conscience.
Okay then. Wait, no, there must be more to it. If that's all it took for her to have a change of heart, how did it take her 10 whole years?
Well...
Oh, I remember now! You and Gemma were nowhere to be found after the show. What happened between you? Quickfire question! Where did you all go after the show?
Oh, we went to the cemetery and Linny did a private magic trick just for us. Actually, glad you mentioned it, because that reminds Paimon. Guess what? Linny started using rainbow roses in his tricks.
What? I don't recall ever having received a rainbow rose from you myself. Is this supposed to mean that they're more important to you than your own sister?
No, I just,
What now? Oh, did Paimon say something wrong again? This is getting pretty awkward. What do we do, Traveler?
Seems like this interview wasn't meant to be. Well, never mind. There's always next time. Forgive my persistence, but when there's explosive news waiting to be found, I can't turn away. The news about Gemma has already made waves, and I'll stop at nothing to get to the bottom of it all. Apparently, one of the things she said to the guards was that her final wish is to see Lorenzo one last time. There's clearly a web of complicated relationships there. Can't blame me for being curious. All right, I guess I'll leave you to continue the rest of your conversation in peace. Bye for now.
Lynette? Paimon didn't mean to...
Don't worry, I wasn't angry. I was just trying to distract her.
Oh, really? Oh, thank goodness. You scared Paimon there.
Phew. You and me both, Paimon. You and me both. At least it did the job, right?
Please, take good care of that rainbow rose. I'd be really upset if you lost it.
Word of advice, don't break the law. Is there anything else? Yeah, seriously, don't break the law. I once considered keeping some pets in my office, but soon gave up on the idea. It's just not right to keep small animals where they won't be able to see the sun. If you ever see any stickers on my back, do me a favor and take them off.
Malazoons like to play pranks sometimes.
I've never seen anything like. I simply could not believe it.
It should be fine. I'm sure it'll get resolved.
Looks like there were quite a few others with the same idea.
Ah, hello, you two.
Have there been any developments? Okay, guess not. Well, the notice was only just posted. Guess it's pretty unlikely that someone would show up right at...
Special Patrol, open up!
Ah! Who's there? What's going on? The Special Patrol?
I don't think that's who this is.
Hey, this isn't the time for silly jokes! Let's go check it out.
Good day, all. Gramps, grannies, aunts, and uncles.
What in the Tevat are you doing here, Auroran?
Oh, he must be the one you mentioned. Kukuku's owner?
One of his owners. Kind of. But, bro, what are you doing here?
I'm here to claim a lost item.
Is this the person you saw on the boat, Mr. Kinich?
Somehow I highly doubt that. For starters, he just addressed us as Gramps and Grannies. And unless this is the youngest looking middle-aged man in the world, I don't think he's our guy.
Huh. Was there something wrong with my door-knocking etiquette? That's how they do it in all the films.
That's not door-knocking etiquette. That's the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol doing their job! Completely different things!
Oh, I see. I figured it was just a polite way of requesting entry, to show the people inside you had something important to discuss. Oh, sorry about that. I totally goofed that one up. Give me a moment. I'll go back out and try again.
So, Auroran, you said you were here to claim a lost item. What did you lose?
Yeah, so basically...
For real now? Oh, come on, bro. Auroran, be honest now. Were you the one who lost this?
No, it belongs to a friend.
So it belongs to Aoife?
Of course not. Aoife has his own gun. All right then. I knew this wouldn't go well. So here's what went down. This morning, Aoife and I were playing rock, paper, scissors. Before long, he'd lost, as he usually does. So we figured we'd head out and visit some of the Cour de Fontaine's famous landmarks. When we got near the plaza, a man suddenly stopped us to ask for help. He said that he had lost something and that someone had found it and sent it over to the Palais Mermonia. But apparently he used to work here and was worried it'd be awkward bumping into his old coworkers, so he asked us to pretend to be the owners and claim it on his behalf.
You didn't manage to keep that pretense up for long.
It's fine. I'm not the one who feels awkward anyway.
So, a former employee of the Palais Mermonia. Was this individual a Fontaine native?
Yes, at least I assume so. He looked like a well-dressed gentleman to me. We were about to refuse, but he was so polite.
Could it have been a disguise?
Oh no. Auroron, Paimon thinks you've been tricked. This person might be in cahoots with the bad guys. Oh, maybe he already took off and escaped as soon as your mission went pear-shaped.
No way. I'm not that dumb.
Huh?
He's not going anywhere. Aoife and Kakuku are keeping an eye on him over at the plaza.
Keeping an eye on him. I like the sound of that.
In that case, let's hurry over to where Aoife is! Time to catch that con man and find out what's really going on here!
Wait a minute, I have a question first. Traveler, Paimon. You're pretty famous in Natlan, right?
Oh, we're basically household names. But why do you ask?
Would that be a problem?
Remember when I said that the seller might be watching in secret?
If so, then picking Auroron to do their dirty work was a careless mistake on their part.
It suggests that the person who got Auroron to claim the item might not be fully in the know themselves. There are plenty of unanswered questions, but standing around racking our brains won't help. However, I still suggest that the famous faces among us, meaning the Traveler and Kinich, oh, and of course, Monsieur Nivelette too, stay here for the time being. We'll empty the box, give it to Auroron, and then he can claim the item as if nothing happened. I'll follow to check if anyone is watching. I doubt anyone would recognize me anyway, so I shouldn't draw too much attention.
I think this plan is worth a try. I shall leave it to the pair of you.
So, I have to go undercover again, right?
Well, not exactly undercover. Just drop the special patrol persona and be yourself instead.
Roger that. Over and out.
No sign of any suspicious individuals around here. Auroron has entered the elevator as planned. I'll head over to the plaza now. Auroron's taking the elevator. I should take a different route to the plaza. Nothing suspicious going on here, either. Strange. Maybe we're overthinking this?
Oh dear! Oh dear!
Stop with the pecking! Stop with the pecking! Please, sir, I'm begging you, do me a favor and get this pet of yours under control!
The heck are you on about?
Sorry, but he's not my pet. He's my coworker. And I should warn you, he's not too happy with how you're talking about him.
What the? This thing has a job? So in Natland, they just dish out jobs to any old thing.
Uh-oh. Kukuku's not too big on being called a thing either. You're on your own now.
I'm sorry. Please, Mr. Kukuku. Master Kukuku. Lord Kukuku. I meant no offense, I promise.
All right, Kukuku. That'll do for now. Let me ask him some questions first.
Sure thing, bro.
Auroron actually looks pretty serious this time. Was he just pretending to be clueless earlier? Interesting. Think I'll sit back and see how this plays out.
You actually got it? Wow, didn't think it would be that easy.
Ah, excellent. Looks like sending you was the right approach after all.
After all?
I mean, because the staff at the Palais Mermonia don't recognize you, right?
So I got it, but I don't remember promising I'd hand it over.
Huh?
This thing's pretty cool. I've taken a bit of a liking to it.
Please don't do this, my good sir, my master, my lord. My very life hangs in the balance.
His life hangs in the balance?
If this means so much to you, what are you gonna offer me in return?
Are you trying to get him to say my life?
How'd you know that?
Because I watched that film with you. You should drop the act. We don't want a real misunderstanding in our hands.
You're probably right. But honestly, I don't know what else to say. Sorry, this is the most myself I can be. Is that enough?
Enough. More than enough.
Who's this dude?
Just think of me as a staff member from the Palais Mermonia. Now, if you don't mind, I have some questions for this gentleman about that life or death treasure you were just discussing. Truthful answers appreciated, of course.
Oh no, I'm toast now.
What's that supposed to mean? You don't think the Palais Mermonia has the ability to protect our citizens?
No, I mean, yes, of course they do. Please ask away.
I could do that. But I'd rather you just tell the whole story, from the beginning.
I suppose I only have myself to blame. Such a rare antique, I couldn't resist. I'm a collector of antiques. Nothing excites me more than rare, old relics, and to be completely honest, if someone's selling, I'm buying. I don't care to ask where they sourced their goods. As for the seller of this particular item, well, I've never met him in person. We've had some prior dealings, but always under the cover of coded ads in some shady tabloids. Lost and found notices, missing person ads, that sort of thing. As long as I took care to hide a time and place somewhere within the text, then slipped some mora into the envelope before submitting the ad, it would get published. And that was that. No fuss, no trace. Simple, right? Normally, everything goes off without a hitch. But this time, I arrive at the pickup spot expecting a discreet in and out, and instead, I find a whole construction crew at work. That was not what we'd agreed, but I couldn't just let it go, so I reached out to him again the same way as usual. He replied, And do you know what he said? He told me that the item's now in the Palais Mermonia.
Well, he wasn't lying about that.
He insisted that it would be inconvenient for him to make an appearance himself, but said that if I could somehow find a way to retrieve it from the Palais, he'd give me a discount on the price. Of course it wasn't the discount that swung it. Do I look like I'm strapped for cash?
Feeling smug now, are we?
Feeling smug now, are we?
No, please go easy on me.
Go on.
Where was I? Well, anyway, I thought to myself, seeing as the item itself came from Natlan, it would make more sense if I could find someone from there to go retrieve it. And by a stroke of complete and utter coincidence, I just so happened to see these two young folks wandering around, so I'm so very sorry. I underestimated the pair of you.
I need you to clear something up for me. You haven't paid the seller yet, correct? And yet he told you to collect the item from the Palais Mermonia. Was he not worried that you just split afterwards?
Well, to be honest, though I can't claim to know him very well, he, on the other hand, seems to know my name and where I live. Besides, this is a guy who managed to get his hands on an ancient Natlanese weapon. That's probably not the kind of person I want to double-cross.
Fair. That makes sense. So, Mr.
Please, just call me Argento.
All right, Mr. Argento. Listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. It will determine how much of the rest of your life you'll be spending beneath the waves.
What does he mean? Is he gonna drown him just like they do in those gangster films? Oh, I get it. He's talking about that place at the bottom of the Fontanian Sea.
Shh, can it?
Owing to your suspected involvement in the illicit trade of Natlanese relics, you're now one of the suspects in an international smuggling case. A trip to the Opera Epiclese seems unavoidable at this stage, but on the bright side, you still have one chance to make things right.
Okay. Do I really? Please tell me what to do.
It's very simple. Just reach out to your seller in the same way as usual, arrange to meet, bring the money, and make the deal. Just be sure to let me know all the details. I'm talking time, place, the whole lot. If we can catch the other party by doing this, you'll have gone some way toward redeeming yourself. Understand?
Oh, I see. I understand. You shall have my full and unadulterated cooperation.
Good. Don't break the law, and don't even think about making a run for it. The Palais Mermonia will be watching you and ensuring your safety. All right, take the box, but leave your ID and other documents behind. You can go now. As for you two, protocol dictates that I should take you both back to the Palais and have you sign a confidentiality agreement. But that would take a lot of time and effort.
Such a hassle, bro!
See, Mr. Kikuku knows exactly where I'm coming from. So, I was thinking, since you're all friends of the Traveler...
I understand, sir. We got dragged into this by accident, and it has diddly squat to do with us. Out of respect for the Traveler, we won't say another word.
Oh, I know this part. We better keep our mouths shut or we'll both be sleeping with the fishes in the tailor-made pair of cement shoes. In that case, I understand completely.
Not exactly what I was going for, but if that's how you want to understand it, then be my guest. Then it's settled. Thanks for your help. Boy, am I glad that's over. That's enough work for one day. Time Time to head back.
Judging by your expression, it must be good news, huh?
It went smoothly, on the whole.
So basically, we hold off until Argento and the other party have set up the next stage of the transaction. Then we plan our next move.
Patience will be key.
I get that. It's like hunting. I'm just not sure the other party will take the bait so easily.
Well, if he didn't need the money, or if he valued self-preservation over making a profit, he could have walked away as soon as the contraband was brought to the Palais Mermonia. On top of that, although he hasn't shown his face yet, he seems to have no followers or accomplices, and he's relying on an extremely limited set of options to push the deal along. So, if you ask me, he seems like someone who cares a lot about his image and has a somewhat high opinion of himself, but lacks any real ability. I almost get the feeling that if he misses out on this opportunity, he won't have any other way of making money. His every move is like a spin of the roulette wheel, hoping that the ball will land exactly where he wants it to. Or, I don't know. Maybe he'll cut his losses and vanish into thin air, and our efforts will have been in vain. At least Natlan will get the stolen relic back, so it won't have been for nothing.
In that case, let's hope his arrogance stays in play.
Everyone, I have just briefed the Marechaussee Phantom on the situation. As soon as there are any further developments, we will act without delay. When that time comes, we will be relying on your help.
We'll be waiting for the good news!
Melusines are beautiful creatures. They are the pride of Fontaine. Be sure to befriend them and cause them no harm. Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste. In Inazuma, the water possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other. Sumeru's water, meanwhile, has a rich and complex flavor profile, but it must be savored patiently to fully appreciate it.
On the topic of kidnapping cases... How exactly do we define the subject of a kidnapping? According to the regulations, I mean. Aside from humans, do pets count? What about sentient, non-human beings? Of course, Melusines go without saying, but what about a being like Kakuku?
I am surprised that you are unfamiliar with the legal provisions on this matter.
If I knew all the laws like the back of my hand, I wouldn't have ended up in the fortress of Meripede, would I?
That is no laughing matter, Wriothesley. Melusines are beautiful creatures. They are the pride of Fontaine. Be sure to be... them no harm.
Neuvillette sent someone to contact us this morning! That must mean there's been some progress! No time to waste! Let's head out! Late, are we?
No, you're just in time. Well rested, I trust?
A great way to stay energetic, certainly.
We received word from Mr. Argenteau yesterday, confirming the time and location of the transaction. It'll take place this afternoon, and it turns out it'll be somewhere we all know pretty well, too. The Film Fantasyland restaurant.
Oh, really? Huh. He sure does like that place.
Seems like you share our concerns, Traveler.
Indeed. Capturing someone in a crowded event venue will be much more challenging than in an open area. The criminal might try to blend in with the crowd, or even escape by taking hostages. In light of this, we've had to make additional preparations. As soon as we received the news yesterday, we began coordinating with the Marechaussee Phantom and the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
We'll be deploying lots of undercover agents on site. If things go south, the safety of the civilians will be our top priority. Of course, fingers crossed, everything will go without a hitch.
I noticed a bunch of familiar faces from the previous case, like Captain Chevreuse of the Special Patrol. So I'm feeling optimistic.
We'll trust your instincts, then. Oh, yeah, and by the way, we've also been in communication with Miss Lapine Pauline and Miss Navia.
The Spina di Rosula will provide support within a controlled scope, so there's no need to worry.
The only potential issue is with Miss Escoffier. You know what? That might not be such a bad idea. All right, no more jokes. Miss Escoffier has made it clear that she doesn't want her restaurant to suffer any losses as a result of this operation. But, well, I have a feeling things might not go quite as smoothly as she hopes. To be honest, we shouldn't have dragged you into this in the first place, and it's caused you quite enough trouble already. The Fontanian authorities should be able to handle the rest from here. But still, I'm guessing you'd like to see how it all turns out. Well then, feel free to head down to the scene, but just stay alert and play it by ear. You won't necessarily have to do anything. Unless things go pear-shaped, of course.
I'll do my best to ensure that things don't escalate to that point. Of course. There are still a lot of unanswered questions, but our intel so far indicates that the culprit's from Natlan. Plus, I'm already a witness in this case. Might as well see this thing through to the end.
That's the Kinich we know and love!
Well, that's enough of the small talk. The operation's scheduled for the afternoon. If we're quick enough, we'll even have time for a few cups of tea before we leave.
Oh, and let's grab something to eat too! Can't work on an empty stomach, you know. And rooting for you! It's a very important job.
Alright, I'll head over to the venue now. Ahao's been harping on for days now about this event-exclusive meal he wants to try. Guess I might as well shut him up sooner rather than later. See you in a bit.
I look forward to hearing how it all goes.
This beach seems to be getting livelier by the day. Traveler, Paimon's getting kinda hungry. Let's go check out the restaurant menu, shall we?
Your friend thought you might be thirsty. Won't you stay and drink it?
I tend to steer clear of drinks left out in the open.
You're surrounded. Give up and come with...
You lousy swine!
Stop right there!
Oh, look! A surprise performance! Wow! How lucky we are!
Quick, take a photo! After him!
Sorry, my guy. Unlicensed and illegally docked. This boat's not going anywhere.
Quick! Don't let him get away!
Be careful!
Amazing!
Lowly worm! No one flies higher than the almighty Dragon Lord! Who's stealing my fun? You again! You're driving me crazy! Oh, wow,
All right, that's a wrap.
Unbelievable! You can't just drag someone around like that! Such blatant disregard for human life! I'm gonna sue the living daylights out of you!
Will you now? I think I did you a favor by pulling you away from your audience. Saved you some face at the very least. As for whether you were facing up or down along the way, well, that was your decision, wasn't it?
What, you... All right, I admit it. I was in the wrong. Oh, of course I know the difference between right and wrong, but I had no choice. I desperately needed the money. I was an expert on ancient relics. Not only did I have a successful career, but a happy family too. But my son, I never imagined he'd turn out this way. Fell in with the wrong crowd and ended up shoulder deep in gambling. We had some savings, but he drained them away like a waterfall. Once he fell into debt, he had creditors regularly coming over to threaten and intimidate him. I'm his father. How could I just stand by and watch him suffer like that? Oh, my son is about the same age as you are. If only he could have turned out more like you. That's the only reason I needed the money. Please, believe me. You... Please, kid, I'm begging you. Help me. I see you're from Natlan too. That makes us brothers. Please, have mercy. I still have a chance to help my son straighten himself out. But only if I get back. If I go to prison now, he'll be doomed, I tell you, doomed! And isn't standing together and fighting for a better future what families do? Our fate is in your hands, young man. Please, have a heart.
Something wrong, Kanich? Gone soft, have we?
I don't believe a word you say. Wriothesley had you just about figured out. You're a gambler. Pure and simple.
A gambler? Me? Nonsense! I told you, it's my son!
First of all, are you really from Natlan? You've been keeping tabs on the gun's whereabouts this whole time. You should have recognized at least one familiar face by now. On top of that, the way you threatened to sue me? Spoken like a true Fontanian, if you ask me.
Huh? What kind of logic is that? I can't explain. I actually grew up in...
I don't want to hear another word. Ahau, here's your chance. Shut someone else up for once.
The moment I've been waiting for. Eat this, scumbag!
Being a compulsive liar is one of the hallmarks of a die-hard gambler. I bet you're just a Fontainian pretending to be from Natlan. Even if you have any friends or family to speak of, I'm guessing they've long since cut all ties with you. And you have your depraved ways to thank for that. Of course, I might be wrong. But does that matter? I'm just here to arrest you. If you're looking for an advocate or a shoulder to cry on, you're out of luck. Besides, prying the truth out of you is exactly what your beloved courts are for. Isn't that right? Many thanks.
And me? What about me? So rude. You should be bowing down in gratitude to the almighty Dragon Lord. Hey, what do you mean? Hold it right there!
Don't worry. I'm fine. I wasn't the one who just got dragged all the way here.
Little Kniech, thinking back to when you were just an itty-bitty boy, Kniech, aren't ya? Aw, don't start crying like a little baby. I am the almighty Dragon Lord! No servant of mine will be seen acting so weak and pathetic in public!
What are you on about? Still, I suppose there's no point hiding it from you. To put it plainly, I can't stand gamblers. They're the most irresponsible people in the entire world. No respect for the principle that you have to give in order to get. They'll tell 1,000 lies for a single coin, deluding themselves into thinking they can use it to gamble their way to a vast fortune. But we all know that even when it looks like you're getting something for free, there's always an unseen cost. In the past, I also ended up paying a price for my father's gambling losses. I don't want anyone else to end up in a similar situation if I can help it. Don't feel sorry for me. I certainly don't feel sorry for myself. They say that people are shaped by their past, and since I've made it this far, I must have done a lot of things right. We should never punish ourselves for the mistakes of others. Instead, I choose to remember the moments that helped me grow. Like when I first learned to use a grappling hook, or the very first time I yearned for knowledge. Yeah, I believe you. Let's get going. If we don't head back soon, we'll cause more unnecessary worry.
Melusines are beautiful creatures. They are the pride of Fontaine. Be sure to befriend them and cause them no harm. Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste. In Inazuma, the water possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other. Sumeru's water, meanwhile, has a rich and complex flavor profile, but it must be savored patiently to fully appreciate it.
Yay! Traveler Kanichi, you're back! We just saw Chevro's taking the criminal away! She looked pretty pleased with herself. So after so much running in circles, turns out he had no fight in him, huh? Guess running away was the only trick up his sleeve. Oh, also, Risley said to let you know that he's already left. He went to report back to the Palais Mermonia. Apparently, the Marisho say Phantom's preparing to carry out an in-depth investigation into illegal gambling activities. Sounds like they'll have their hands full. Anyway, that's for the Palais to worry about, not really our concern. Hey, it's not like you to give up so easily, Charlotte. Make sure you pick the best shots of Paimon. Oh, already gone. Hope she heard that. Yeah, you're right. But what took you all so long to get here? Did something happen?
What? Rumors and slander! When have I, the almighty Dragon Lord, Kahulahau, ever sunk to such sniveling?
Often, actually. To be honest, I haven't decided yet. At the moment, I've got nothing urgent to get back for. And, in any case, the court might need me to testify again. Plus, that gun's still a key piece of evidence. I'll probably have to wait until the case is closed before I can return it to Natlan. So, I guess I'll be sticking around to enjoy the beach a little longer.
The fresh vegetables from the new batch are exceptional quality. I just wish I could say the same about the new staff.
Traveler, it's you! Ready to join the Cheval Moran Film Fantasyland crew? No problem. We'll be ready when you are.